Welcome back, everyone, to our final game of our final series of the day. It's been a pretty exceptional one as well. The Wise Monkeys, the Georgian team that came through from the Opens, facing up against the Evil Corporation, currently tied 1-1. One game separates them from moving through the bracket, meeting up against some of those, higher-tiered, seeded teams.
Is it OG, I believe?
I can't remember now. No, it's one of the middle ones. It's PD, I believe.
Oh, okay. Planet Dog?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I'm pretty sure it's them.
Yeah.
We can check the bracket later on, though. But we'll move into the draft. You can hear the woman talking. You can hear the timers counting down as we get in. Support pairings picked up. Darkseer off lane, which I've not seen in quite some time, with a Night Stalker as well. It's gearing up to be a big wombo combo team fight draft from both sides, potentially.
Yeah, I think it fits the way that they like to play. Like, you think of them as a team, and I think this Darkseer probably fits them very well. Though, unfortunately, they don't really have anything to combine with the Vacuum right now. I think that's a big deal. Like, you kind of want to have some kind of Vacuum combo.
Yeah.
Not because, like, the game is dependent on it, but it's good to have that to put fear into the enemy team. Of course, Vacuum combo is just fine into Wall. Or, recently, I've been seeing a lot of people, like you said, buy the Helmet Dominator.
Oh, yeah.
So, a Centaur creep can sometimes be enough. I've been watching Keizu stream a lot, and he plays Darkseer quite a bit. And it feels like the hero does do quite well. Like, a hero like Bane, one of his biggest strengths is that he zones out most offlaners. He trades really well, but Darkseer doesn't really care. He just shells the wave and runs away. So, avoiding Bane to some extent, like making sure that he doesn't play in his comfort zone. And Tusk doesn't provide the most lockdown when he's surged. He can just run away, so it is a solid game for him, no matter what.
And there's a ton of stuff you can do with Night Stalker as well, right? Like we used to see the Darkseer, Spirit Breaker Darkseer, Earth Spirit a lot, where you had the combo, you had the Vacuum into the charge or the Boulder Smash, but it's more than just that, where you have on top of the combo the fact that if the Night Stalker comes to your lane, you apply pressure to like the Bane or the safe laner with the double Ion Shell, but then during the first nighttime you can have these moves where you like move top, walk top with Night Stalker, Ion Shell, and like double TP to another lane and play aggressively, or single TP. You're just like never quite sure where that added bit of damage is coming from. It's just Ion Shell magically there on a Night Stalker across the map.
Yeah, and it is a really big deal. Like, I think before you used to see a lot of these Darkseer dual lanes, and the reason it kind of died off the way I remember it is the mana cost on Ion Shell went up drastically. And I think I usually try to count mana cost on heroes in terms of how many of that spell do they have for their entire mana pool. And I think he maybe lost like an entire Ion Shell due to the nerfs that he got. So that's probably a big deal. They picked TB here.
Interesting one.
Yeah, TB's like, he's like a weird hero because he's always kind of good unless there's like a ton of AoE. But I could easily see this like Evil Corp like pick a hero like Mag or something now. So they have a lot of they have 2 picks to kind of figure out how to deal with this TB. But either way, they have a very balanced draft. Like, this draft kind of does everything. The only thing that I'm lacking for Wise Monkeys is some sort of combination with a Darkseer Vacuum. I think that would complete it very well.
I'm looking towards mid heroes for that really now. What kind of options do we have? Is Puck still in the pool for like a Vacuum Dream Coil or the Orb and Waning Rift? But outside of that, I don't feel like there's anything like disable-wise for combos, but you can maybe think about like a Queen of Pain to come in. An early Orchid against Brew and Juggernaut's reasonably nice, and then you've got Sonic Wave to add into the damage.
Yeah, I could see both of those working. I'm thinking, I feel like Ember just fits their lineup really well. But I haven't seen that hero too much in mid recently, but it just feels like the cores match up really well. Like Darkseer Ember, Ion Shell on that Flame Guard, it's so much damage, and it's so strong. Yeah, it's so strong together. And Ember is like one of those cores that takes a lot of attention. You really need to use your lockdown on him to make sure that he isn't outputting damage, which gives TB a lot of freedom. OG used to run this when they were winning majors. At that time, there was like TB Ember was like a really popular thing for them. So
they'd give that flexibility to Ana to like split push and fight.
Yeah, it's like they just complement each other well. I think they play each other's game well. The only downside is that Ember right now, without the poor man's shield in the game, is very weak in lane, and he has a lot of horrible matchups. But they do have last pick, so
and an OD ban.
which is very good against
Which is
Ember.
very good against
Yeah.
Ember.
Yeah. They banned DK.
Which is a reasonable response to the OD ban as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Would have added in a lot of push. The one hero that caught my eye, I always have like a hero list because I have difficulties, like pictures to names and stuff like that. I thought about a DP here, adds into the TB's pushing power. Again, that kind of thing where you have to focus a lot on her. She doesn't care too much about Cyclone. Could be an option for Wise Monkeys, but that's a cool one. Leshrac mid for Evil Corporation alongside a Tusk and a Bane. As Wise Monkeys pick up a Sky... I mean, I was never going to call that. I don't know about you, but a Skywrath mid.
Okay. That's cool. It's different. It's not Ember.
A Lesh into Sky, 9th and 10th picks.
Yeah, I mean... I actually really liked your DP idea. I want to say, like, that actually gives you a vacuum combo. Like, you vacuum into the silence. It's really, really strong. It's a long duration silence, so... The DP sounded good to me. I was kind of sold on that, but yeah, Lesh. I mean, and then Sky. I'm sorry, but I actually don't have like too much input on these heroes.
We saw. No.
I mean, Lesh is really good against TB. Like he does a lot of magic damage. TB is a very squishy hero, so illusions are like they just die to Leshrac stuff. But
and he's got setup from Bane and Tusk.
Yeah, no, I can see his value in this game. I just have no idea like. What items are you specifically looking for before you want to fight? Or, like, where does he hit his timing? It's not something I've seen too much of, unfortunately, so I can't provide the most insight on.
Not quite unbroken ground, but definitely one of those heroes that we very rarely see. I mean, Skywrath's the same. You know, we saw Weehaw play Skywrath mids a couple of TIs ago, but outside of that, it really has been a dead hero for the longest time. I think I've seen it maybe... I could probably count on two hands how many times I've seen Skywrath since TI 6.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but the way I've understood this hero is that he's very snowball-y, like, especially in the mid lane. He cannot really farm creeps. I know he has some talent now. I don't know if it's 15 or 20.
The double?
But yeah, he gets, like, the bolt somewhat useful to clear waves. So, I don't know. Maybe he works a bit differently with the talents now. I really don't know. So, I'm not gonna say anything too. It's gonna be like a learning lesson for me too, or like see what they do with it. Maybe it's something that we could pick up and start doing ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Learn as you go.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about this game, honestly. Like, most people learn one thing every day. Every time I watch a game, I'm like, oh shit, you can do that.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. It's super cool.
Learning 20 things a day. The main thing I look for though in a draft against the Juggernaut is ways to cancel spin TP.
Yeah.
And there isn't.
Metamorphosis hit him.
Just damage him as much as you can.
Yeah. No, that's true. It does a lot for Jug when he can play that game freely. I feel like Juggernaut and Lysander are kind of like the same in some ways, where they're weak to the same hero pool. And in terms of like just core-to-core matchup, TB's damage output against Jug is really good. Like he has no problems with Jug. He doesn't care about Jug, whereas Jug always has to back off when TB like locks onto him. So the matchup is good in that way, but if you think about it in a broader perspective about how is the game going to pan out, Jug has a really good time like just avoiding TB on the map and pushing out waves, forcing TB to play his game rather than TB forcing him to play like the defend at his tower game. So they both have options of playing against each other. It just comes down to who does it better. Like, is TB going to be able to push faster than Jug can split, or is he going to be forced to TPing around after him?
It definitely feels like Evil Corp have like this group of 4 heroes that are moving together right now. These 4 feel like they could take on the world. So much damage and lockdown between them.
Yeah.
Juggernaut can come in and help if he wants to. Over on the Radiant side, it doesn't feel, or at least at first glance, it doesn't really look like they have that same kind of kill power. But that's mainly because they have, a relatively squishy mid, they've got a squishy support in the Shadow Shaman, and Darkseer needs a ton of levels before he becomes that, utility synergy hero with the, mech and hood and whatever else he goes for. But
yeah.
Skywrath brings so much damage to the table on top of a silence. Ancient Seal against Jugger, against Brew, Leshrac to a large extent as well. If they're able to get that off at a decent timing in a team fight and follow through on it, they could quite easily swing things their way.
Yeah, I think this game is, from where I stand, it's going to come down a lot to how this mid matchup goes. Like, I could see Skywrath just rolling Lesh mid if he gets a straight 1 versus 1. But most likely that's not going to be the case. I mean, it's never the case nowadays anymore. You got some try versus try lane, and I still feel like Skywrath provides more than what Lush does in that specific matchup. But I'm no expert, so we'll find out.
We'll see what they do.
Yeah.
It looks like they give up on the bottom runes. Terrorblade falls back to block up his wave. Nice little clip there to jump in front of his range creep. As XL gets his block on. Owned me. Oh, he's going to do this little pull, isn't he? Drag the creep waves away from the Terrorblade, but Shadow Shaman, tricky, he's ready. He can go and grab the enemy wave if he wants to, which it looks like he will. I've seen a lot of different sort of thoughts about this. You know, some people double up the wave, some people drag it in between Tier 1, Tier 2. What are your thoughts and feelings on the kind of different mechanisms of dealing with this offlane pull across?
I think there are different things you can do. Like, oh my, wait, what is this? When we actually let go of the wave.
Oh.
So the downside to doing this pull is that you actually get a wave into your tower. If you look at bottom now, the wave is moving into the tower. And if you don't clear this wave fast enough, then you lose an entire creep wave.
And you have to CS under tower.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
No, look like he's gonna miss like experience from the creep at least.
And Omi gets the deny. Yeah, it's being pinged out like, hang on a second, guys. Our creep wave is over here. What's that? TB missing out on...
Two creeps. I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but Naomi has a double wave. I think actually what he did just now, like letting go of the creep wave, was probably the right decision. Seems to be way better than the whole pull deny wave behind tower that I've been seeing. But I'm not too sure. I think what I like to do is either you bring over your position 4 hero and you just dive the offlaner at this point. Don't let him get experience for this huge wave that's coming out of tower, no matter what like the resource cost is for you.
I mean, they're taking reflection
right
level
now.
2,
Yeah.
and meta popped. Oh, they've got him!
Yeah, this is huge. Like, he's gonna TP back and still get experience for some of these creeps, but it prevents a lot of like the benefits of that pull, which he also sacrifices some region for usually. I actually think he got away for free this time, but normally it costs you like a salve or something to make the pull happen.
Oh, he gets away with it this time. Still 2 range creeps following Hansken. Where's he off to? I always love watching creeps when they're pulled out of their normal path, where they go, because I've seen creeps do some weird things.
Yeah, these 2 range creeps are casually strolling to the base of the Dire.
That's lost experience, though.
Yeah, they're on a mission, man. In search of the Holy Grail.
Hey, buddies. Where are you going? Well, we'll watch Tricky get caught by the Bane and the Tusk instead of the range creep on the Lone Crusade. They lose their Shadow Shaman. And while we were watching bot for the first 2 minutes, there was a fair amount of fighting mid. They've allowed Lashrak to get a really good start in this lane, though. 14 and 10 against a Skywrath who has only 4 and 0.
Yeah, I don't think this is the... I feel like Sky is like not one of those heroes where you want to be in this situation. You want it to be the other way around. But then again, I'm not too sure he's that dependent on like creep kills.
Well, Hansken with the rest of his team pretty much here in the middle of the Radiant jungle. Nightmare back onto the Night Stalker and the salve. Hansken juking around the trees. Oh, it's a Marigopole and WTS. He is getting slammed. The reflection finally arrives. XL will help clear up with Tricky. 1 kill at least, but they're so tanky. Onmi is just following through on every move they make as he holds the line. Tricky doesn't have mana for another shock. Clarity's up now. They'll be forced away from this jungle as the TP came back in from Night Stalker. But when you look at all of this, action in the bottom half of the map, from mid down towards bottom, there's 6, 7 heroes down here, even 8 heroes in that area. Juggernaut is in a 1v1 against Darkseer. And Juggernaut fares reasonably well with Spin, with Healing Ward especially, to deal with Ion Shell. But how good is this for the Darkseer getting such early levels?
Darkseer's, I feel like, one of those heroes where you kind of always expect to have a decent game, if not from the lane, then from the jungle. It's very rare that I see like a Darkseer totally screwed over. So the approach that they're taking, I think, is like actually really good from Evil Corp. They're not emphasizing on shutting down Darkseer. They know Jug is going to do fine, so they're trying to slow down the other lanes instead. And I'm just talking as stuff is happening.
I mean, there's nightmare juggling happening. I don't know if it's particularly important. The Bane just TP's home.
Yeah.
They're trying to make action on this Lashrak mid, but double null, 10 one charges and a Fairy Fire make him close to invulnerable as Evil Corp go in again bottom lane. Tusk and Brew, 2 tanky brawlers up on the front lines, hit by the reflection now as the snowball buys a bit of time to get the Tusk out of danger, but Onmi likely sacrificing his own life here.
Uphill miss.
Uphill. Goes for the clap, but still Takes a tumble.
Yeah.
It's just relentless. Evil Corp, they move in, they look for kills, they look for action. Okay, we lost our Brewmaster, but we're going to start playing mid now. 2 heroes move in towards mid, and I feel like this is a pretty good response from the Radiant, playing aggressively themselves, but it might just be a couple of seconds too slow. The Nightmare, it holds back the Snowball as Discover is still alive, finally dies to the Edict of the Lesh. Night Stalker. Iron Shell's good, but I don't know if it's not that good. Oh, misses? Not quite enough. Tricky in trouble. Snowball in 3 seconds. The Shackles have given away his life there. Maybe could have just run away, but he was trying to get the Skywrath back into battle. And this is quickly spiraling out of control.
Yeah, like I said, I think Skywrath really is like the snowball hero, and when he does not take off in this like mid position, I think he easily just becomes like a position 5. It's just you're playing without a mid and you're playing with another 5, so
not ideal.
Not the situation you want to be in. Yeah, I'm not sure, and they're not really getting much out of this nighttime either with Night Stalker. They have 2 more minutes to like really make stuff happen, but both their supports are level 2, man. This is he just hit level 3 with that bounty rune.
And we talked a lot about the Darkseer kind of activating the Night Stalker, being that, you know, huge impact with the Iron Shell. We've seen no plays around top. Everything's been around mid. And again, they have left their Skywrath open to this initiation from the Tusk. Snowball into shards, make it look oh so easy as Tricky does get the shackle on the Leshrac on the tower, but immediately taken out of the game himself. So a 1 for nothing turns into a 2 for nothing into a tier 1 tower here with a catapult wave and Edict level 3. Leshrac is going to become an absolute monster.
Yeah, I think this mid lane was, the way that it was drafted, it was like, it's going to snowball in either direction. And it's snowballing in Lesh's direction very, very hard. And I really think like this is what the game comes down to. The Skywrath probably won't be able to recover into this game, but you have to say that Wise Monkeys have pulled fights out of nowhere. And they're probably going to have to do something similar again, because if this Lesh gets tanked up, the way that I see this game panning out, I just don't know how they're going to kill him before he kills all of them, basically. They don't have any lockdown to control him. It's basically the Night Stalker silence. That's it. But I do believe that doesn't cancel the ult. It keeps channeling.
It keeps going,
yeah, so... Oof.
It's super hard.
Yeah, it's rough.
I mean, I've heard from, you know, a few people, the first 5 minutes deaths don't matter, your first 5 deaths don't matter, you know, first 10 minutes your deaths don't matter, as long as you can win a couple of team fights moving forward. But when you're looking at your mid Skywrath sitting at 27 CS, almost 8 minutes in, 0-2 and 0, with his tower already gone, definitely not the ideal situation to be in. Now Leshrac has free reign just to swing down towards bottom, force TB out of lane, Shadow Shaman can't do anything, and it's going to be 3 towers across the board for them. And again, I just want to move my eyes back up to top, because it's a lane that we're ignoring, but it's also a lane that it feels like Wise Monkeys are ignoring as well. Sure, they have a Darkseer sitting there, getting a bit of gold, a bit of experience, but it's still Juggernaut free farming out of his mind.
Yeah, he's sitting at 61 CS, which is, I don't know what perfect score is at 8 minutes, but it's pretty close. And bottom, Lush just rotates out of mid, takes the tier 1 mid, now bottom as well, so really opening up this map and making it very, very small for Wise Monkeys. You can already tell TB's in the jungle, you know, he's scared, he doesn't really know where to be. Luckily for him, it's daytime right now, and he'll have pretty good vision around this area if somebody tries to gank him, so I think he's happy about that, but there's not really a lot of positives for Wise Monkeys here. I really think when they put themselves in the situation from the draft, right? When they go with the Sky, I think they really have to play around him and make sure that he works. But at the same time, they have this TB, which needs babysitting as well, so it just seems like that they're not, comparing to like the other games, I feel like this is like out of their comfort zone. This is not the kind of gameplay that they like playing.
Scrappy, uncoordinated.
Yeah.
Trying to kind of react and deal with what the Dire are doing to them instead of doing their own thing.
Yeah, like having this game plan and just executing it. But who knows, man? Maybe the Skywrath is going to come back huge for them in the next fight.
Maybe
but like you said, like
smoke. Oh, this Leshrac just does way too much damage. He's going to take 1. Look for the second. Oh, Nightmare's taken off by the ulti there. Pulse Nova working against him, but then works for him. Easy double kill. 3-11. This is almost drastically out of the hands of the Radiant now, waiting for some kind of mistake from the Dire.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the deaths like themselves don't matter too much, but the thing is that they just make that fight that you need to win so much harder. Like the amount of bonus gold that they have and bonus experience mainly. Like at this point in the game, it's not so much about the gold. It's so much more about the experience. The higher level abilities do more than any like 2, 3, 4, 500 gold could provide for you. So that's definitely rough for them. The good news is TB's very farmed. And I mean very farmed. Like this hero can do really well for the like output a lot of damage if this Lesh isn't dealing with him, because basically their only answer to him right now is Lesh and Brewmaster's Dispel from the Brewling. Actually, yeah, they have that too.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Feels bad.
Poor TB. Well, Leshrac swinging back towards mid. I was going to ask you, tier 1's falling so early. You know, in previous patches, we've heard arguments for specific carries when their tower falls. They're able to freeze the wave at their tier 2 and things, you know, looked okay back then. It didn't mean as much when your tier 1's falling, but it feels like in the past, you know, 5, 6 patches, if your tier 1 falls early, not only do you lose lane farm, but you're losing jungle farm, which TB thrives on with his illusions, and that huge, you know, tract of land from the bottom shrine towards the east. That's, you know, 2 very decent camps that belong to the Brewmaster now. Is there any credence to that kind of ideology anymore, or is, you know, losing tier 1's just really bad?
I personally think like the tier 1 towers are so much more valuable than the tier 2s. Like if you talk about like 20 minutes into the game, if you have your tier 1s alive, the map is so small for your opponent. But when the tier 1s are gone, like you said, this like this bottom tier 1 kind of enables these 2 creep camps and basically makes it safe for the Dire to play like on the entire like right side of the map. If you just look at it like from a, instead of looking at the river as like the half point of the map, if you just split it exactly like that, straight down the middle, you look at how much area you actually gain from just those 2 towers being gone, the mid one and the bottom one. I think the top one's fairly irrelevant.
If you like split it into 4, it's just like 3/4 of the map belongs to the Dire team.
Exactly, exactly. Or like they can play in 3/4 of the map fairly safely.
Yeah. Right now, no vision behind tier 2 bottom, but they are smoked up behind the Brew. Radiant scouting around Roshan, maybe expecting a little sneak there from the Dire. Nothing going to come to fruition though, as TB just tries to clear out waves mid with some illusions. Darkseer has his Helm of the Dominator, has the Soul Ring. We're moving into a mech next. All very slow and steady, but the Wise Monkeys, they are getting through this rough and arduous period of their lives. They're across the map, they are doing something, pushing a tier 1, getting a bit of gold into their pockets of their supports. Always a nice thing to see.
Yeah. And Rasta's level 6 now, so is Nightstalker. This was like a big thing for them. They were both very underleveled. Knowing this team, they're probably going to look to take a fight like soon, if not now. Try to recover this game before it's too out of hand. This is a play that I like to see people do. It's like, this is a fight that we're going to take on our conditions. We've placed vision, we see what's going on. This is the best part of the map for us to fight at. But
you come to us.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even though we're behind, we're not going to get a better fight than this one. But it looks like they're going to back off, so recognizing that they maybe feel like, okay, wait for, let's finish up our items. There are some items that we can get that are going to make the game easier for us. We're not that desperate yet that we need to take this fight, so probably like the Blink mech on Darkseer, I think. BKB on TB. And at that point, maybe they have a game. I'm not entirely sure, because the trade-off is going to be that Jug gets like a Manta.
Jug has a 13-minute Battle Fury. I've just checked him out, clearing ancient stacks.
Unless he has a Bloodstone, man.
It's getting spooky. Blink Dagger on Brew. You know, we could go on for days. Mid lane, that's just a golem. Punched up by Hanskin. A few pebbles thrown. DD rune has spawned top though. The Roshan rune does the Juggernaut.
I think it's going to be the Ancient rune this game.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah, they're prepared, man. Evil Corp are playing this game very well. They're really like making sure that Lesh has a good game, and now over to Jug, you know? They put Jug in that 1v1 lane, but now all these stacks are going to just accelerate him so much. It's such a great feeling. I don't know, like, I play a bit of Jug every now and then, and when people stack for you, it's just so great.
Spin them early, cleave them later.
Yeah.
This double damage rune paying off massively for him.
Yeah.
Well, Leshrac up at top, babysat by Hanskin, as XL's TB just wanders on away. Doesn't want to get caught by anything up at top, hiding back in the trees. Maybe feels like there's some eyes on him. This dire ward expiring in the next 30 seconds, still giving a nice bit of vision. But it's been some decent fight dodging here by the Wise Monkeys. It's kind of kept them in the game for now. They've not been bleeding out, right? They've kind of stemmed the flow for now. They've been farming up. Skywrath, I don't know if he's a hero yet. He's got double bracer, double null. Double Wraith Band coming next.
Yeah, 15 minutes in from your mid-year. I'm not sure, man. Maybe this is all the hero needs. I think, like, sometimes people get, like, too obsessed with, like, you know, how much net worth does he have. But maybe this is all he needs to, like, output crazy amounts of damage. Because I think for him, the key target is Brewmaster, right? That must be the hero that he wants to go for. Because I'm thinking as, like, I play Skye as a position 5 hero, and if I'm in this game, Brew is my target. So I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing for him. He wants to silence him before he gets to split off and try to burst him down. I just don't feel like he has damage. I'm not sure.
Especially when, you know, quite often we see, you know, like a Sand King Skywrath or a Clock Skywrath, right?
Yeah.
You have that Burrow Strike or Cogs through the Mystic Flare to actually just keep them in the damage, but here, I don't know, relying on the shackles from Tricky, not going to happen when he's sitting sub 900 HP, dies in, you know, a second and a half to a Jug or a Lesh. Nightstalker, Darks, like none of these guys offer you the big teamfight control that potentially you're looking for. So it has to be one of these miraculous Wise Monkeys fights where they chain every spell perfectly onto the right targets. The game calls come out crisp and secure something.
Invisible Lesh might just pop the smoke. He actually hesitated a little bit there, but there we go. Spots the Rasta, probably figures it out. Like, what is he doing here?
I think they're in Roshan though. They've moved forward. Oh, this Omni Slash cleaving through the three of them. They do lose the Tusk, but the spin with the help of the Fiend's Grip. Now the Shackles cancel it out. The Serpent Water down. Frost is dropping to this TB Metamorphosis, and the Wise Monkeys are doing a lot of damage here. The Skywrath has been untouched. The split though will finally arrive, and in comes Own Mead looking for the damage and onto the Terrorblade. He's holding onto Sunder. He's holding onto Sunder, and somehow from across the frickin' map gets it in onto the Lesh. He's got the stun forward, but Leshrac falls. Skywrath and TB are still alive. They're fighting under the Serpent Wards. They need to run away. The TB's surviving. He's not going to die. Maybe a clap, but there's no mana. The wand, the Soul Ring, he needs to use it, but he's going to fall to the wards. The damage from the Skywrath Mage. Finally, XL. Well, no, he's walked away.
Oh my god.
No way. Finally. I keep saying that word, but the shards will land. The Brew survives. A miraculous fight is what they needed, and a miraculous fight is what they will show us.
And the best thing for them, I think, is that Skywrath survives all this team fighting. He gets experience for every single hero that died, and he gets away. He gets gold for them too, so a hero that really can't farm creeps too fast, surviving fights is everything for him. And I can't believe how many Sacred Relics were used that fight.
4,000, yeah. Everyone has a Sacred Relic. 4,000 damage done by the TB, as we're not missing anything. Darkseid just runs away. But just huge amounts from that Skywrath, spamming out everything he's got.
Did he do the same amount of damage as TB? Wow, that's crazy.
No, the damage is down. The TB did.
Okay, that's the damage.
The Rasta did 2,400.
Let's go, Rasta.
I mean, they were fighting under these Serpent Wards for a good minute or so.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, now you've got Rod of Aetor, stun for Discover. Skywrath Mage has an item. Aiming for Blink next, but they have been scouted by this one Observer Ward. Up on the high ground cliff top.
Yeah. But you saw the matchup between the carries here. Like, Jug popped the spin, tried to run away, but TV was just pounding straight into him. And he really cannot man up into that. He just dies. It doesn't really matter that he has a higher net worth. It's just how TB functions against Jug.
And that's before the TB has a Skadi or something like that, which really does hurt the Juggernaut.
I actually think with more items, it benefits Jug more. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I think it gets easier for Jug as the game goes along. As he grows up and becomes a big boy Jug.
Gets a job, gets a family. Oh, nice Nightmare to save the Leshrac for a little bit longer. The Snowball also there. They've kept him up and running, and now the turn. This is where Evil Corp will bring down the Night Stalker. The shards blocking off the retreat. There is no way out of this area. Chase on forward as the Darkseer sprints away, but discovers Skywrath has already fallen, and I think they're looking for maybe a Shadow Shaman as well. Shards trap him in with the Brewmaster. They just have to wait for the Cyclone to land before finishing him off and dipping back into that Roshan pit. A good attempt from the Radiant, but the saves were there so perfectly from Evil Corp. The Nightmare, the Snowball, and that kill that you're meant to get, that one big burst onto the Leshrac, turned on its head.
Yeah, I think They probably underestimated the importance of having TB there before the fight even starts. Last time, like, TB got like 4 hits off on the Jug before the entire Dire was there, and that really was a huge teamfight changer for them. And this time they were trying to take that fight without TB, being there from the start, present, hitting people right as they go in, and I feel like that really was a big difference maker in this fight. Oh, XL.
They think it's an illusion, right? Oh, he blinks over him. No way, Hanskin. They've got the Bane.
They see the clarity, so...
Oh, they know it's real, for sure.
Yeah.
You can Sunder. You can Manta. You can get this off and maybe get a kill. The reflection comes out. The shards push him back away from the damage. And the TB alive, getting a kill. But it's this which is more important. The silence of the Juggernaut. He has no Manta, no spin. He's caught with the Mystic Flare on top of him. And down he goes. The first life popped. Juggernaut has a spin in a second, timed with the Aegis here, so he should be able to get it off and walk away. Still a lot of damage coming forward onto him. Nice shard from Hanskin will allow them to fall back. But again, like you were saying, this Terrorblade against the Juggernaut, it just can't be, you know, stood up to. The Juggernaut is just handing over his lunch money and saying, "Okay, I'm out here."
Yeah, I think he needs a butterfly. Once he gets a butterfly, I think this kind of like shifts into his favor. Because the good news for him is that he's farming a lot faster than the TB, and TB like is a hero that you just want to kind of like stack up stat items on just to get your illusions to output damage as well. So you want to avoid items like MKB that don't really help your illusions at all. But if he gets a butterfly, I think it's a must. He probably has to buy it because I don't see like anyone buying like any Solar Crest or anything. Maybe Night Stalker does.
Or a Skyrath Bloodthorn.
Yeah, like it feels like a bit too far down the line.
Yeah, it really does. 12k net worth lead for Evil Corp. Breaking high ground 22 minutes into this game. We're not seeing the 14 or 15 minute.
Yeah, a slower game in general compared to the previous ones. Even though there's been like a lot of action, neither team has decided to, you know, slam up the high ground at 15 minutes. So
I guess this time it's the Radiant with Shadow Shaman, the Serpent Wards.
Yeah.
Maybe Leshrac has BKB now, so maybe he can be the one just to move up on the ramp. Brewmaster, Blink Clap, but he's been nice 4-staff away. Only saved by his buddies as the vacuum into nothing will connect. Serpent Ward's placed defensively, and it looks like Evil Core shift gears down towards bottom lane.
This is a good call. I like this. You know, force out the Rasta where it's mid and then rotate out bottom. And I do believe, yeah, they got the Mystic Flare out too. It is a 20-second cooldown, but it's enough for them to be able to siege his tower and deal some damage before it's up.
And they're just cycloning up this Skyrath Mage, make sure that there is no outspam as they break the tier 3.
Yeah.
200 HP.
A big reason to why they're able to do this is they forced out the meta before in trade for the Juggernaut Aegis. And now, knowing that the meta is down, they decided to go for this push. So really what the trade-off was, in the grand scheme of things, was an Aegis for almost the base tower. And the question is, maybe they would have gotten more if they just, you know, went for that push at the tower and used the Aegis for a fight. But the way things played out, that's what they got for it.
Still a reasonable outcome for them.
Yeah.
4-staff on Bane, the Blink on Tusk. The supports really have been holding this team together and making sure that the Wise Monkeys can't get up in their faces. We've got a full Hurricane Pike though for XL now. On top of that Manta style, so he's got a little more maneuverability up his sleeve to get away from that Leshrac who's been on his case.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Lesh goes now. He has both Blink and Shiva's queued up. I personally would really like him to go Blink. I feel like his only objective in this game is to make sure that TB does not output damage. If he doesn't manage to kill him or whatever, I think that's fine, so long as TB isn't hitting. If TB's running around, then Jug has total freedom to actually like win them the fight, so I really think a Blink would be really nice here. It looks like he's going to go Shiva's first, though.
Maybe just a casual plate mail into Blink.
Yeah.
I always like that on heroes like DP, Leshrac. Even like the old Lina build where we saw, you know, Shivers into like Daedalus, just having that extra armor. It's always super nice.
I mean, going Shiva's here kind of like, it helps them. Oh wow, they get a pick on only bottom.
The grip is there onto Darkseer, and Leshrac's TP'd in, so they have the damage now to finish him off. They've tried to get the Night Stalker away, but Omnislash Unless it bounces to some creeps, which it does. Whoa, WTS. Thanking his lucky stars as he did a little shimmy to the left into the creep wave, shimmy to the right to get away. The chase still on, but Hunter in the Night gets him over the treetops with the TP there. He will get back to base.
Yeah, very nice. But, you know, normally, like, when you do these plays, you kind of want to waste people's times. But this was, like, straight on the creep wave, so they're managing to push it out right away. And they're not really investing too much time for it. So I don't think they really mind too much. Even though the chase didn't work out, they're still doing what they need to do. And Jug looks like he's saving it for a butterfly right now. And I'm curious. TV's going BKB. Okay. This is a very big item. I think this is like basically they got everything. This is like a peak for them. BKB on TB. Blink on Darkseer. 1k gold off. So I think this is like one of their probably last like major peaks before it's just like all luxury items. So it'll be interesting to see if they try to smoke with that or try to do something with it. Maybe defend Roche when that's alive. I think the timing should match up pretty well.
It's been hard for the Darkseer though, it feels. You know, having more than just a two-man vacuum has been close to impossible with the way that Evil Core are kind of, you know, spreading and concaving, preparing for team fights or objective takes. There's never, you know, there's like a Juggernaut and maybe there's, you know, a Bane or a Tusk nearby him.
Right.
But outside of that, the Brewmaster and the Leshrac are all split off. There's a Tusk with a Blink Snowball to save you. So combo's not really massively viable, unfortunately, for the DS.
Yeah,
So
I think Blink kind of helps with that, though.
Yeah.
That's the good news with it, so... Yeah, I mean, it's gonna... For them, it's like always feels like the series. Outside of the first game, it's really gotta come down to how they manage to execute the fights, where they find a fight that they like. And most likely it's gonna be, you know, Rasa sets up some wards. They get a place that they feel like they're in control of. Most probably gonna be Roche, because I don't really see any reason for Evil Corp to fight anything else. Like, they're just gonna wait for Roche, take a fight there, make sure that they're controlling the area before that, but... Yeah, again, Wise Monkey's pushing bottom.
Yeah, especially when they're pushing... I feel like this is the most dangerous tower in the game to defend.
Yeah?
In my mind. I've seen so many people like come in and try and defend, There's so many angles for the enemy team to like hide in the trees and jump on you and catch you.
Yeah.
And it's just perfectly reasonable to leave that tower to die. Come in down towards bottom, Omni Slash onto Skywrath, instantly buys back, but they have already lost the tier 3 as the Primal Split may just secure the racks here.
Oh man, the racks die so fast. Between Brewmaster's Demolish and the Diabolic Edict. Yeah, and Jug. Like, it's just... That died so fast. He didn't even have time to run out of the fountain.
TB's making a trade, though. If they can cancel some TPs on the way out here, this could be big for them. It's the Leshrac that returns as the tier 3 still stands. But they've got to catch Bane. Rod of Atos into shackles. The damage from the Mystic Flare enough. And Evil Core not going to turn around and play with them because Leshrac not available. But
yeah. However, TB did use his Metamorphosis, so this is a huge opening for Evil Corp to just do something immediately when Bane is alive. Or are they gonna get Roche? This is a brave play. But it seems like Evil Corp did not expect this.
would you?
I mean, okay, Hanskin does. Yeah, I mean, you gotta keep it in mind at this point of the game, right? Roche is like the major thing.
This is Metamorphosis ending. TB, he's out of gas. He's going to force Staff away, but there's the vacuum wall into the snowball save. And Leshrac's BKB going to start ripping them apart with his Pulse Nova. Tricky takes a one-hit crit to the face and falls flat as they'll lose not one, but two. Sunder is good, but XL trapped in the shards and taken out as Evil Core will look to wipe the face of the map. With the Wise Monkeys, not really much left that they can do as... Oh, hello. Hanskin, Blink, Snowball. Are they going to get a dieback here on the Skywrath Mage? They've got a silence forward from the Ancient Seal, but it looks like he might just be caught here with a punch from Hanskin. Gonna come through with the shards first. The punch now as the Juggernaut leave him the kill. Oh, no, blocked. Body blocked by his own team, so Brewmaster gets the final touch.
I feel like Hanskin's kind of like the unsung hero of this game for the Dire. His rotations in the early game, just being on top of that Sky, making sure Lesh has a good game. And then I've seen a few missed ice shards, but like the overall like movement and where he's being always there at the right time, I really feel like he's done a great job this game. And I'm not sure if he's a stand-in because I do believe this is not the roster that I saw when I looked up the team.
As far as I know, Hanskin's playing on the final tribe.
Right.
Not entirely sure. We'll see likely the last fight of the game here as the Omni Slash clears up the Night Stalker. Buys back in. TB is alive in 5. So we'll see what he is able to do in a couple of seconds. The second lane of ranks going down. Again, it's going to take some kind of magic to come out of the Georgians here. And the magic just not coming. TB's BKB accomplishing very little as the Leshrac chases him.
Getting taunted on. Ah.
The Disco Pony sends them back into the fountain. Bane takes a lot of damage there and might just fall to the reflection, but Leshrac standing tall, 1v2ing even through the Metamorphosis, leaving the gem on the deck. Swap your wand out, Lesh. No, he wants to blink away, toying with his food as they move on forward, looking for a bit of a go here with the Ro12, but Snowball straight back in, dragging the Leshrac into battle. Cyclone from the Brew sends the Scarlet up into the air. Are they setting up the Split Earth? Oh, the punch into stun will do the job. And you know, Insania,
I just feel so bad.
I think that's it.
You know, I've been in. You know how many times I've been in this situation? You're like desperately defending base, and you're not fighting with like items or it's just willpower. You just want it so bad.
So your fingers are slamming into your keyboard, bloody to the bone, just like one more spell. All I need is one more spell. Well, they're still holding on here as they do get the BKB forced out for the Brew. The Sunder back from this big TB might be enough to clear one up, but it's just the Dire team sprinting through them. The BKB from Leshrac chases forward again. Trade BKB with a TB. Cool, I guess, but XL without Metamorphosis really does not bring too much to the table, and GG is called. So we'll see Evil Corporation progress through to play against Planet Dog tomorrow at 8 PM. As I'm kind of sad to see the Wise Monkeys go out like this. You know, game 1 looked super solid. Game 2 maybe a bit messy, but you know, they've shown their drafting, their crisp play style, definitely very skilled. Only good things to come, I hope.
Yeah, I think this is a team where, at least the way that I feel about them is, they're going to shine the more they get to practice. I think maybe the problem for them today was they had the Lesh draft, and you saw how good they can play. I mean, the Visage draft. Yeah. And we saw how good they can play, but maybe when that one hero was removed from their arsenal, it didn't look as crisp. So when they manage to add on more heroes to that, like, and practice it to the degree that they have with the Visage, it's probably going to look a lot better for them overall. I hope they keep playing together and we keep seeing them in these qualifiers. They were a really cool team.
Yeah, they definitely tried something unconventional with the Scarlet mid.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I still understand the merits, the pros and cons of picking Skyrath there, and we'll maybe get in touch with one of the players and just be like, why, why did you do this? But it didn't really get off the ground. You could definitely see the strength of it up against the Brew with the silence, the magic damage you've got. But Evil Core, good early start, good laning stage as they tri-lane mid to get Leshrac to a was like 14-6 against like a 4-0 at 4 or 5 minutes, just like an insane beginning. But that will be it for us today. That's us done for Europe. Coming up in a few hours should be North America, 2 AM CET, so that's a good 4 hours from now we'll start that. South America, I believe, is still going on, ESL_Joan Dota Yellow. But for now, from myself and Insania, it's good night. We're done. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 PM CET with, actually, let's just bring up that schedule again. 5 PM CET, who do we have? Kinguin against Team Doggy.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting series. Kinguin has looked really, really strong. Doggy, in their victories, looked very dominant in their winning moments, but I think Kinguin probably the favorite in that one, but who knows? They might surprise.
Yeah. Some kind of surprise potentially there, and our second game of tomorrow will be Team World taking on OG, which should be a very interesting one at 8 PM CET, so definitely make sure you're there for that one. But for now, goodbye. See you guys tomorrow. Awkward pause while I look for the button to press. Yeah, I'm an idiot.